One of my favorite things about Sailor Moon that was not in the manga or in the Sailor Moon Crystal anime adaptation, but was in the original 90s anime, was the friendship between Sailor Moon and Sailor Mars and Rei and Usagi. Even though all the Guardians are friends, you could tell these two were like the best friends. And what made their friendship so special is that on initial glance, it looks like they hated each other and they always bickered, but there's so many scenes and so many points throughout the show where it's like you realize they were the closest. So when the first season starts out, Sailor Mars comes in. Mind you, she's the first Guardian on her own that kills a monster without Sailor Moon's help. So that kind of already sets the stage that she's pretty tough. And Usagi admires her, but Rei kind of looks down on her because she looks at her as a crybaby and a weakling. And they always have a back and forth bickering throughout the entire series. Their friendship kind of gets tested a little bit, but not so much because they're in junior high, but they both like Tuxedo Mask. The thing is, they both like Tuxedo Mask, but neither of them know that Tuxedo Mask is really Mamoru. Sailor Moon, Usagi, in her regular life, bickers with Mamoru, kind of the same way she bickers with Rei. But Rei likes Mamoru too, so they start dating. So Usagi secretly finds herself jealous of Rei and Mamoru dating, and then when it's revealed that he's Tuxedo Mask, it kind of creates a bit of awkwardness because with finding out he's Tuxedo Mask and Usagi Sailor Moon, we also find out that Sailor Moon is Princess Serenity and Tuxedo Mask is Prince Endymion, and they were destined to be in love. So it creates an awkwardness with Rei because it's like they're destined to be together, and it kind of leaves her to the side. There's a scene on the episode in the second half of the first season, and it's a really soft scene, but I really liked it. And Tuxedo Mask is kidnapped, and we know Mamoru was Tuxedo Mask, and Usagi goes through depression, and she's not eating, she's not sleeping, she's crying herself to sleep, and Artemis starts yapping on about how she needs to get her shit together because she's the princess, and we need her to, get her shit together. Rei steps in and says, but you don't understand, the love of her life has disappeared, and I can understand what she's going through. And Mako was like, well, that's not like you to stick up for Usagi, but then she has a flashback to where Sailor Mars actually slaps Sailor Moon because Sailor Moon gets hysterical, and because Sailor Mars was crying because Mamoru disappeared. So then it's like it clicks to everybody like, oh shit, Rei liked Mamoru too. So and you kind of can, and Mina starts saying there has to be something we can do to help her, and Rei is kind of like staring off into the distance, and then it kind of pans over to Usagi, and you kind of can see how them both being concerned about Mamoru, even though it kind of makes them rivals in that regard, it makes them closer. And I thought that was really deep for this show. And it never touch it, they never discuss it, but it's really deep. But then a couple episodes later, they're both in this ice skating competition, and they both get stuck in this avalanche or this crevice in the snowstorm, some shit, I don't know. It's a trap. And Usagi pulls out the locket and that Tuxedo Mask gave her, and Sailor Mars is like, oh, is that the locket Tuxedo Mask gave me? She said, yeah, it helps me when I'm sad. But then she stands like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. And it's like, wow, she really was still thinking about her, even though Tuxedo Mask is hers. But she was still thinking about Rei. And Rei was like, girl, I'm kind of over him. Then we have the final battle where I kind of put the video before where Rei is the last one that stands up for Usagi and kills two monsters for her. And then further down, at the end of the series, when the same thing happens where all the Guardians are killed by Galaxia, the first person Sailor Moon goes to is Sailor Mars. And Sailor Mars tells her, I'm sorry, I can't protect you. The same thing she told her in the first season. But she tells her we'll always be together. Very, very deep. And it's one of my favorite things about the 90s anime. It's too bad we don't get much of their personalities in Sailor Moon Crystal, but I love it. It's one of my favorite things to go back to in the 90s Sailor Moon anime.